Now, reviewers have heard Adele's new album, released on Friday, and in the song My Little Love, it's dedicated to her son, Angelo. Now, he was 6 at the time, and she opens up about how she talked to him about divorcing her ex-husband, Simon. Crying to her son, she said, "Mummy's been having lots of feelings lately. I'm confused, and I don't know what I'm doing." So, can you ever be too honest, do you think, when it comes to your kids, Katie?
Well, I think Adele's bang on with this one because I think she is quite a private person. You know, I don't think she sort of talks about everything in the media for her child to go and Google it years later. And I think what she did is exactly what I would have done, is she told her child in a sort of age-appropriate way what's happening before anyone else told him in the playground. And I think there's a thing to be said for actually, you don't want to teach your kids to suppress their emotions. You know, my children have seen me cry, not regularly, but they have when I haven't been able to hold it back, and I don't want them to hold back their emotions around me. So, you know, I think it's important to allow them to have that space to do that.
Yeah. And but if they say to you, "Mummy, why are you crying?" How would you explain it?
Yeah, I would translate it in a way that wouldn't give them anxiety or make them feel guilty or upset them. Like, if I think how I was raised, like my own mum was very stoic, but, you know, she was calm, she was very accepting of things that were happening, and that helped me later on in life in my adult years. But my parents very much kept adult problems away from us as children as a form of protection so that we could enjoy our childhood, which we did, but also we understood what was going on appropriately, you know?
And it's interesting you talk about that with the way in which your emotions are allowed, which emotions are allowed around your trauma, around what happened to you. Your mum being very stoic and strong and sort of...
It was helpful.
Being helpful, yeah, because we were talking about this earlier about, you know, if you're going through something, what's helpful from your mum? Do you know, to stop you from crying or to keep you strong or to allow you to feel those feelings that are a little bit more problematic, a little bit scary, a little bit harder? My mum was a bit like your mum, very much like, just keep it together, you've got this, you can go through this, that sort of tough love. So, you know, it's a fine one, isn't it? Because you say that with your kids, it's about, you know, would you do the same with your kids as your mum did with you? Be quite tough love? Would you be like that?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having a mum that had been, like, when everything happened to me, standing there in ICU with me, being like, "Oh, my God, this is what..." Like, where would I have gone with that, having to carry that burden as well? And, yeah, I think I would be the same with my children. And I've always been transparent with my children about some of my past, and then that's normalised it, and actually it's not been a big issue. I mean, yeah, I think... And then it allows questions.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of you two and what you've been through, and obviously what your mums have been through alongside that, you know, they would have been, like, thinking... protect, protect, protect. And, of course, you know, they want you to come out of the other side of your trauma to have the best life that you can possibly have. So it would be sort of like, come on, you know, keep you going. And I totally get that. For me, so, like, in lockdown, for example, I had to resist the urge with my younger daughter because, you know, her GCSEs got cancelled. She was kind of at home the whole time, no experiences with her friends. And she had down days. And I had to stop doing that. Come on, there's other people in a worse off position than you, because I thought, actually, in that situation, it's OK to feel... have a down day and then maybe tomorrow will seem a little bit better. And I've had to stop myself from doing that jollying along thing. What about you, Jude?
I agree. You know, growing up, my mum and dad, you know, when they split up, I don't remember having a conversation about why they split up. You know, from West Indian culture, it was very much, this is big people business, leave big people business alone. It was just that simple.
I agree with that.
And you would hear them, and you knew it was time to leave the front room and they're having the conversations. But I felt, you know, very loud, I felt secure. Both my parents was always around. But I do feel like, for me, especially splitting up with my children's dad, I've done it a little bit differently, where I've had a conversation. And I think that it's really important when you're dealing with children to look at their level of emotional intelligence. That's the important thing. So, like you're saying, what Adele did at his age, at that age, you know, Mummy's feeling a bit sad, she's not sure. They understand those words, sad and not sure and confused. But, you know, you might embrace them with a big hug and say, but now I've seen your face, I feel a bit better.
And you have to explain something, of course, because his dad isn't suddenly going to be there every day.
And then as they get older, you can have a more frank conversation. I think the problem is when it hasn't been addressed. Sometimes children walk away feeling like mummy and daddy split because of me.
Yeah.
Or mummy's upset or daddy's upset because of me.
That's a good point.
And that's the gaps that we need to try and fill in. And I really agree with, especially what we've been through in these last years, having that space to allow yourself and your children to say it's OK to be a bit vulnerable. It's OK to have these different emotions. Because then they see the transition of mummy was feeling like this, but mummy's feeling great.
Yeah, you can't always...
And to have a duvet day.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're right. I mean, there's an obsession with this, like, positivity movement. It's supposed to be always being happy, always being upbeat. That's not actually true, and that demonises other emotions on the spectrum and actually goes against this sort of talking about mental health and saying, actually... Like
it's
you said,
okay.
with your daughter, she, rightly so, probably experienced highs and lows, and actually you're being consistent and saying, I'm here for every day, not just the good days.
Yeah, I'm just saying that thing of, you know, sometimes everybody has a bad day, don't they?
Yeah.
And you don't even necessarily have to put a label on it, really.
Yeah, it's just how you share it, what you say. Is that bit with Adele. She didn't say anything bad about her ex-husband or her son's dad. She just said about herself. So it's always about how you say it.
And that's really positive. She didn't trash the guy, because that's really toxic, isn't it? You know.
Exactly.
Good old Adele, we love her.